Someone is very hot. Oh,
Right?
okay.
This should be outlawed. There should be regulation about AI and this thing.
I think there's a lot more ice cream if you want.
Yeah, I'm going for the ice cream now.
Benamram, welcome to the Maeven hot seat.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Benamram is well known to probably most people watching. Currently the Chief AI Officer at Pillsbury, but also you were the Chief Knowledge and Innovation Officer at White & Case for 11 years and the founder of Skills Law, which is an organization that has been bringing knowledge and innovation professionals together for many years now. You also were the Chief Innovation Officer at Simpson Thacher. So a very storied career in knowledge, innovation, and AI. So Oz, in the hot seat, we are going to be eating wings with hot sauce at the same time as we answer questions. We're going to start with the least spicy of the sauces, so please feel free, help yourself to a wing.
Great.
And I will eat with you.
And is that the least spicy?
This is the least spicy right now.
It's spicy.
It's already quite spicy. You've said that people come to your type of job, our type of job, either through a drive for efficiency or a hatred of risk, and usually meet somewhere in the middle. Which one are you?
I'm definitely a risk taker, and I hate inefficiency. It irks me. That's why I was a practicing lawyer, and there were all those things that just made me mad, that we have to do things the wrong way. And that got me to knowledge innovation role. I was still at Mofo at the time, Morrison Foerster, as an associate, and I had some good ideas for how we could work smarter. And the firm said, run with it, and that's how I started. I think the same principles that help with efficiency, having a checklist, having things being scripted according to a playbook, also have reduced risk, because you're doing it in a more consistent way. So that's why I said people come to the middle from both directions, because either you want to reduce risk or you want to increase efficiency. They both, I call it work smarter. They both get you to work smarter. So yes.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, you would come from one or the other primarily, probably, and then meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, shall we move on to our next hot sauce?
Absolutely.
While we do this, you've said that the proudest part of your military command was that none of your soldiers ever killed anybody or got killed, and that this has actually taught you how to manage knowledge and motivate people. How does that show up in how you lead today? And please.
Oh wow, that's a
spicy question.
A spicy question. I did learn a lot of my, I think, leadership philosophy came from that, because in the army, you must train everyone around you to know what you know, because in any moment you could get a bullet. And as a head of a company, I made sure that the head of the platoons each knew what I knew, and I shared with them the decision making and the process. The other thing in the army, you have something we don't have when we work in law firms. You could put people in jail if they don't do what you tell them to do. But the principle, you could get people motivated either by fear or by loyalty. Right? If they understand the mission and they identify with it, they do things, and it takes a while to get loyalty and to get people to get excited about it. Or you could say, I'm going to be very scary, don't know what to say, I send you to jail. You have both tools, and you need to decide which approach you take. Fear gets people to react way faster, but it's only as good as the fear factor exists. And the moment you're gone, or the moment the fear factor is gone, it evaporates. Mission and people's identifying with a goal and being proud and loyal gets you slower to the results, but gets you much more consistent and better results. So I think our job as leaders is to make sure our team enjoys the ride. As one partner at White & Case used to say, we don't save lives, we make rich people richer, we should enjoy the ride. And I agree with that. I think it's really important for us to as leaders, make sure that everyone enjoy it and it's not a fearful experience when we don't have to create fear for nothing.
It's really interesting. It's like it's the classic carrot and stick, but to the extreme.
Yeah,
And so interesting also that communication was so critical,
it is. Yeah.
even in those circumstances.
And also sharing transparency, because you have, especially in the military base, you have a lot of power and knowledge, and you decide what you share down. And for me, it was really important to share as much as I can, right? And making it that, and you get better results, right? I mean, everyone contributes to the conversation, everyone owns the results. It's not, my boss told me, so I'm doing it. It's like, we decided that's the best approach of how we're going to approach it. So it's more fun for everyone. I mean, it makes it, and you want to make sure that, I mean, I'm proud of, probably one of the things I'm most proud of my career now is that there are so many people who lead knowledge innovation in other law firms that I helped raise at some point, right? And helping seeing other people succeed is really great. So.
You're a mentor to many people, including myself.
Thank you.
Shall we move on to the
Yes.
next hot sauce? This is one I'm familiar with, happily. Oz, you have spent well over a decade inside white shoe firms. What's the thing about how elite firms make decisions that outsiders would never guess?
That's a good one, and a spicy one. I think some people might know that, but it is a partnership. And as a result, it doesn't operate like a corporate environment where you have a single decision maker and then we align and everyone align based on decisions. It's like every partners, rightly so, thinks that they own the business, and as such they might be vocal and they expect you to make sure they are on board. So a lot of the energy goes to build the consensus around it. You could try sometimes, again, to get a shortcut and not try to go to get a consensus for everything. You need to decide which of the functions are worth you going fast versus going slow and making sure that the organization is supportive of that. I think as Brad Karp learned recently, they can walk away now, right? I mean, so you only have that much leeway to do things despite what other people think. And you could, as a leader, build a lot of trust over time, and you could cash on that when you need to say, right, guys, we need to move faster on this one, or trust me on this. But generally, that's not the rule. The rule is that you need to get every partner or every partner that is in a position of power right now to be on board. You don't want to stretch. It's a partnership, right? And you want people to feel proud and support and feel part of it. So if you're trying to say, I'm just going to do this here, it's none of your business, it's not going to fly well in the long run.
Such a consensus-driven organization.
It is.
It's interesting. I mean, in some ways, I think that could lead to inefficiency as well, ironically. They can't move as quickly.
The process can be a little, I tried, when I was young, I tried to I was at MOFO, and in the Air Force search engine, what was recommended, and one of the principles was we want to use time notes as part of evidence of your expertise. What was the matter about? What do you know? And there was the woman that I refer to as the evil lady from accounting. She was not evil, and she wasn't accounting even. But for purposes of this conversation, she controlled access to time notes. And anytime anyone wanted to have access, they had to go through her. And I said, we're going to democratize knowledge, right? It's a better, the organization is too big to be able, and I still believe that, right? But and I didn't know at the time that there is no progress without casualties. Someone gives up something, right? And in this case, she gave up control. And she was convinced, and to some extent she was right, that by giving everyone access to information, you're creating risk for the organization. In her case, it was partner compensation. She didn't want one partner to be able to copy other partners to see how much they contributed, and therefore why do they get paid that way, and it created cultural problems for the organization. So she wanted to control it. I thought I'm just going to avoid her. She told me it's a risk management issue. I went to the CIO. I said, what do I do? She said, we have a risk management committee. I went to the risk management committee. I thought, how do I get the attention of the chair of that committee try to think what other problem the search engine solved that he cares about. Had the conversation. He has said there's no risk management issue here. I said, can you email me that? He said, ask me a question, I'll reply. I asked the question, he replies, and I, being young and inexperienced, forwarded to her and said, FYI, which she understood the F part rightly so. I was trying to just say, I won, right? But there are no winning when it's a partnership. And she said, well, I misspoke. It wasn't risk management. It's a risk. It's an HR policy. Right? So I had to go through the HR. And as a result, the product ended up, she really gave me 4 rounds for my money. And as a result, we made the product to really solve most of her concerns. Right? You could only find time nodes when the narrative matches what you search. You cannot just go to a person's profile and see everything they ever wrote, which is the right thing, because it balances the desire to find the person with the ability to find everything about them that is not relevant to your need here. So you need to go work with people. You need to understand who is going to lose power and which one is which one is not worth it, and that's the idea of making sure to be influential and get the trust and get the organization to move in together.
I love it. You really highlighted, I think, 2 elements of change management. One is, when you went to the other person, it was really a what's in it for me to try to get them on board.
Totally.
But then also almost designing for the edge case. So that's what she was really holding on to. This is the edge case potential.
And you will have people today, whenever you give people access to information, someone really loses. So if you make it easier for every partner to find expertise, and you could answer RFPs on your own. You worked on Pepsi, you don't see the Coke stuff. The BD guys knows about Pepsi and knows about Coke. If we just send you on your own without going through the BD person, you might misrepresent and you might lose something.
Yeah.
We can't give you access to the Coke stuff because you worked on Pepsi. So the BD people will really get upset. Now, the alternative sometimes is that you just won't do it. And if it's too hard, if you're dependent on a gatekeeper, you might say, I'm just not going to answer this, or I'm just going to delegate it all together. It's a hard miss to find what's the right answer there. The way I describe it, though, every time we do something big, which a change, is think about it. You're about to build a tower in the middle of the neighborhood. Everyone else has normal houses. You're going to build a tower. Best case scenario, you're going to put a lot of shadow on everyone else and make them look small. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, your tower is going to collapse and ruin their properties. Right? They have nothing to gain unless you understand that and say, everyone, the roof is for everyone and the pool. Right? So now you're giving them a beautiful sunsets from the penthouse. And now I have an incentive to, you saw me, you understand I exist, and you're helping me to achieve something else. Yes, I'm still going to live in the shadow of your tower here that I don't like, and traffic is going to increase in the neighborhood, and noise, and the construction time, but at least you gave me something in exchange. So try always to find that pool in the penthouse that you could share with everyone else. That would help with the conversation.
That's great, the pool in the penthouse. By the way, I live in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn Tower is a tower that was built with no consensus.
Right.
And everyone hates it. They call it the Eye of Sauron, or the Tower of Sauron. Yeah. So O's, Skills Law,
Yes.
an organization I love and support, is really a bet that the bottleneck in legal AI is people and skills, not software. Heat rising. Is the industry's AI problem actually a talent problem in disguise?
It is getting hotter. I think it's a great question. And I think, when I interviewed to the role at Pillsbury, someone talked to me about my technical background. And I said, this is not a technical role. The chief AI officer is not a technical role. It's mainly a storytelling exercise. Like any prophet in history, my job is to convince you that if you keep on doing what you do, you're going to go to hell. And if you follow my gospel, you're going to go to heaven. And to have a good enough vision that people can identify with and agree with. It's a storytelling. It's a winning of hearts situation, because the change is not obvious right now. It requires a lot of information governance, right? All the eat your vegetables exercise that nobody likes doing, but they're mandatory to get to heaven, in our analogy here. So I do think that it is a talent, it is changing behavior more than technology. And it's understanding what is pre-required for the technology to work in terms of the organization. What do we need to do? Where do we want to get? How do we reward for that? So there's a lot of, it's all the people. I 100% agree. And skills is about sharing information within the industry. People who are transformation leaders get together, compare notes, whether it's about AI, mostly about change management, knowledge management, what are the areas you want to focus on in the organization, where the value you're going to get, and mainly share scars and accidents, what you should avoid. Early on, it was people like Michael Mills, one of the founding fathers of our industry, who taught us all, like, this is not where our law firms compete with each other. Right? I mean, this is not the product, it's about how we support. And by us all collaborating, we're actually going to do great things. If we are, for example, let's say you work with Maeven, our hosts here for this hot deliciousness. If you're Maeven and you found them, if you say, I'm going to save this secret for myself, I'm going to use it as a competitive edge, only we're going to use Maeven, you're going to lose because they're going to get bankrupt at some point, or they won't be able to invest as much in your product because you're basically the one client they're going to have. If, on the other hand, you say, hey guys, I found Maeven, it's amazing, it works, oh, you should try it, and then they get as a result 20 more law firms, now you have a powerhouse developing for your needs, but also makes money by sharing others. You're also going to benefit by having other people's ideas go into the product, any product. So you want to share, and it's not going to make it any more or less appealing as a firm by you having that technology behind you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's not the technology decisions you make are not your competitive edge as a law firm.
Right.
And I think it's interesting if you look at the people who do very well in roles like head of innovation or knowledge or AI, they are people. That's their real skill, is that they're very, very good with people. And so I think, interesting. What about on the legal side? Because if
Am I supposed to have another?
Oh, let's move on to another sauce. Yes, let's do that. Now, you were the one buying and building the tech inside of your firm, and you've also been on the outside selling to people in your old seat. What do vendors get embarrassingly wrong when they pitch to firms? Oh my goodness. That one is quite spicy.
Yeah. I think vendors sometimes think that they're one size fits all. Some vendors sometimes don't understand that the way you approach one firm is not necessarily going to work for another firm. If a firm has a chief knowledge innovation officer, transformation leader, you cannot avoid them. A firm that doesn't have it, you need to create relationship with the partners directly. A firm that has one, if you try to circumvent that person, let's say you went through the chief AI officer, chief innovation officer, and they said, this is not my top priority for the year. They basically said, we're not going to buy your product. Now, a smart vendor will say, talk to me about what is your top priority and let me see how I can help you there. A less sophisticated vendor will say, okay, I got one door closed, let me try the window. And they'll go and send some free something for a client, for the partners at the firm or the client of the firm to try to create pressure. It doesn't work well.
Let's move on to the next one. I think we should have milk instead of water.
Yes. It feels like I have a hole in my tongue from the last one.
Of all of the AI pilots running inside big firms right now, how many do you think are real and how many are theater? For the partnership or also for the industry at large, innovation theater?
So the pilots, I don't think there is a lot of things that are just for show, but I do think that some people lack strategy. Trying to test every product that comes out of there, it's a waste of time. That's why LTH exists, right? I mean, your main job is to know what problems you're trying to solve. What are your top priority? And then you rely on consultants or experts, or legal tech hub, to tell you which are the possible or the most likely answers to your problem.
Right.
And only you can define what are your top priorities are, and that's your job. You shouldn't try to boil the ocean. Yes, you want to stay educated and you want to follow what's happening in the market and you need to know. But trying to understand each product, their strengths, their weaknesses, before you even got to say this is a problem I need solving, makes no sense to me. So I think and it's also the other point to keep in mind. The thing we have the most scarcity of is our lawyers' time and attention. And if you are just diffusing them, sending them all over the place, they get exhausted. And life is moving faster now than it used to. And technology is evolving faster. So by you not staying focused and very regimented about what are the things you want people, and some people at your firm would love to test anything, right? You've got some of 6 partners who would love to touch everything. Let them run with it, right? I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying don't do it for those, don't block people, but be mindful of who you're dealing with and how much change you can create. I think it was Bezos who said that one of the people on his team told him, you have enough ideas to run this company for a long time. Your job is to not share all your ideas with us. And as a result, he had to become much more thoughtful about what he's going to, because every time you say something, 6 people are now dropping everything and trying to figure it out. So don't say it. We got ice cream.
Ooh.
Spicy ice cream, I believe.
That looks like wasabi ice cream.
Exactly. That's, I think, that would be vanilla, I would hope. It's time for ice cream.
Coming up to a little bit of a rapid fire round. So I will take a bite and then ask you those questions. Whew. That one is very hot. Okay, Oz. Knowledge management or generative AI?
You could put the best technology on just a pile of blurb. It won't give you results unless you took the time to organize your knowledge. So if you had to choose one, only knowledge management, because that will work regardless if you use AI. If you use AI without knowledge management, you won't get far.
Build or buy?
Build or buy, mainly rent, right? Neither build nor buy. The industry moves really fast, and if you either build or buy and you tie yourself to one technology, you might not get the results that you want. So rent, unless there is nothing to rent, and then you build. So there are very few things. What you do want to do is configure, though. You want to have great expertise that you could take a technology, whether you build, buy, rent, and make it work for your situation. So I think that's the expertise that law firms are building now that we didn't have before, to the way your lawyers work, and that's what all the Harvey Legors of the world bring, all those legal engineers to help you take the technology and apply it to your legal situation.
Okay, in a crisis, GC or managing partner?
That's spicy. And again, I don't think it's either or, right? I mean, in a crisis, you need them both. The managing partner are more effective within change within the organization. The general counsel are more coming from the discipline of protecting the organization. But the truth is, you need both to pull in the right direction to get you to where you want to be. So, rent.
Rent.
This is chocolate habanero.
Chocolate. Oh, okay, interesting.
Chocolatey.
It actually tastes really good. You left a senior, secure, prestigious seat at a large law firm to go and start your own business, consulting and skills. What did the people closest to you say when you decided to do that?
Depends on whom. The people who depend on me economically
Yes, your wife.
said, I support you whatever you want to do. And the thought was that I'm going to build, I had an idea that we need to make the firm's knowledge accessible to the client. I thought I'm going to build it. That's why it made sense to go on my own. And then I thought, I am at the peak of my earning careers, and while I was still in the notice period, 90% it's going to fail. And I'm going to have a great time, but it's unlikely to be. So it was some forced late modesty that made me say, okay, so I'm not going to own my own technology company. Had I been 30, probably I would have said, yeah, it's time to try that. because I had a very concrete idea about what we should do as a firm to stay relevant when clients use AI. But then some wisdom that comes with age and modesty, I decided not to do it. And then I thought, what do I want to do? And I had a consultant who, I didn't think, I had an advisor, a coach, that I didn't think consulting is something, I thought of it as a negative term. You have to chase work all the time. And he convinced me that I like working with people and I like help other people. So I gave it a good try. I did miss two things. I missed having a team, because a consultant, it's really you selling you. And I also missed actually building things, right? And seeing the results and making the change. I gave great strategy advice to people, and it was a lot of fun. But once, I didn't think when I approached Pillsbury it's going to be, I thought there might be one of the clients I help with. But then I came to the conclusion it's actually better to do it from within and build a team and being able to be influential that way. So there's the financial aspect of the question, and there's the variety of doing many things versus focusing on doing many things for one client, and they both have plus and minuses. I think, I'm surprised you held that long without going to a firm because you see how things are being built, and I'm sure you're thinking, well, maybe I can build things. So.
There's something very satisfying about executing on a vision, and as a consultant, you only get to advise up to a certain point,
right.
And then execution is left to others. And
right.
I think both of us are probably strategic as well as executors, executioners.
Executional.
Yeah.
Executioner sounds.
Whew, I'm sweating. Shall we move on to the next one? Okay, so Oz, you trained a generation of knowledge leaders. You really have. I mean, I remember when I moved to New York, I came to the New York large law group.
Sorry.
Please. I'm having difficulty knowing where to bite. And everyone in the room had at some stage worked with you or had some kind of influence from Oz Benamram, and it was very impressive to see. I mean, you really have created this community. If AI does everything that everyone says it will, does the Chief Innovation Officer role that you essentially pioneered still exist in the next 10 years?
It's yes with 10 exclamation points, right? I mean, if anything, I would say there are going to be more chief, call it AI, knowledge, innovation, per lawyer than there are today, right? I mean, when you think about the revolution, law firms really need people to help think about the future and carry the direction there, more than they need one more partner at the firm. So I think, yeah, it's absolutely this role. This is our prime time, right? I mean, this is what the nerds got to be front of stage, right? All the thing that used to be like, it's cool to be KM right now, right? I mean, we just wrote a book about it. I wrote with Adam and Rebecca.
Adam Curfey and Rebecca Pasternak.
Thank you. And we call it Law Reinvented. And one thing is like, it's what used to be back office, KM, is now your first line of defense, right? You bring your KM and innovation and AI people to your client first meeting. When you try to date and to impress your client, you bring us now, right? So it's very cool to be us right now.
Yeah, it used to be the case that it was very hard for partners to want to show you to a client,
right.
And now the AI, the practice technology, the knowledge management is actually a strategic driver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's almost like you cannot show up. They ask you about it, and if you don't have a good enough answer, you might not get the work, and rightly so.
Right. Oz, we have made it to the last wing.
Woohoo! This is very, very red.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that hits. For the lawyer watching who's terrified AI makes them irrelevant, what's the one skill you would tell them to go and build this month?
Eating spicy wings. It's a skill, apparently. So I think it's important to understand what AI can and cannot do. AI, and it's only going to get better, will give you the best historical average answer to the question. And this is how, historically, when we look at the data and you either put us in a wide lane or you zoomed in and focus on a very small set of questions, very specific, it will apply the historical answer. You want to be in a place that look into the future, right? That your expertise solves problems that haven't been solved often before. And then you're the most protected, right? Professional people who give advice about AI right now, they have a lot of work, right? And that's not something AI can solve for the clients. So focus, it used to be, privacy was a new industry. And many people who went after did very well because it became a huge industry. Every tech company and every company needs to have privacy expertise and advice. AI is a new area. So look at either new areas and new fields. The other thing is just stay curious. And you'll be able to apply whatever comes and stay relevant and right? So don't be afraid of it. It's coming whether you like it or not, right? I mean, other than the moral questions about what it does for the environment and other things that might say I don't want to have. Right? I know some people say I morally think it's wrong. It's going to have terrible consequences on society between the environment and the unemployment, and I don't want to be part of that, which I respect. I personally don't subscribe to that. I think that like any technology, it can be good, it can be bad, and depends how we use it. I do think it should be regulated. So focus on the regulation area of those things if that's what you feel. But you want to know what's coming, and you want to speak from the point of knowledge and not from point of ignorance. So just stay curious, play with it, and focus on areas that are new and coming.
You've made it to the end of the hot seat. Well done.
I don't get to. We have a bonus question for the last one?
Well, I can throw one at you if you really want to try this. I understand it's dangerous.
I was told this is like dangerous, so I live, as you said, I live by...
Oh my goodness. Okay, are we really going to do this?
I think we need to try it. It's like, it doesn't even have like colors. It's like pharmaceutical prescription, I think.
Well, that's exactly right. It does look like that. It looks like it's medication of some description. So
curiosity killed the cat.
Well, you just said stay curious. I'm going to throw a question at you. What are you most excited about for the next 5 years with where AI is tracking?
This is by far the most spicy thing.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
This should be outlawed. There should be regulation about AI and this thing.
All over my mouth.
Yeah, it's not even spiciness, the experience is. I am excited about how it's only going to get better, right? And it's getting better all the time. I'm fearful about what it's going to do for society because I do think that many people are going to lose their job. And it's not because everything is going to be way faster, right? You won't need as many people to do the same thing. Some people will do very, very well because by using AI, they'll be much more leveraged. And finding the products that make sense for you to absorb as part of your ecosystem is very exciting. I think it's going to make us all just more effective. It can give room for creativity. You'll be able to try many more things. You'll be able to, each one of us now is a software company. Right? Any person with an idea can create a product. And the amount of new and genuine, true innovation that's coming is going to be really fast. And that's exciting. I like that a lot. I think it's going to be also very interesting to see the development, right? Some things are scary, some things are exciting. The mix is important. I do think that we'll need to think about regulations because people's motivation to self-enrich is going to be very tempting at times. But overall, I'm mainly excited to see about all the new great innovation that's going to come out of it.
Well, Oz, thank you so much for joining me on the hot seat.
Thank you.
I think there's a lot more ice cream if you want.
Yeah, I'm going for the ice cream now. So,
Oz, just before we wrap up, tell us a little bit more about the book that you've written.
So it's called Law Reinvented, but it's all about what AI does and how legal organizations, law firms, in-house legal departments should think about what they can and should do to prepare for that. It's written as a manual, easy, friendly. We used AI to help us write it. It was the most pleasureful experience of writing a book. We first agreed on the outline, and then we met every week for 90 minutes, talked about one of the chapters, recorded, uploaded the transcript with the outline. Claude took a first cut, and then each one of us edited, and then the others commented and edited. But within 2.5 months, we were done of the writing. It was just a great, and we thought, talking about AI makes no sense not to use AI in writing it. And
Absolutely.
It was such a pleasure doing it that way.
That's
And
wonderful.
also, I loved working with Adam and Rebecca, which was really fun. It's
great team.
law-reinvented.com, or just go to Amazon and put Law Reinvented.
Okay, so people can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and it's inexpensive.
Okay.
I mean, our goal is really to be helpful and to be useful.
And was anything else that you'd like to plug today?
I think you and I meet every Friday at 11.
Yes,
And
we do.
people can join us. You just go to skills.law. And every Friday at 11, we take a different use case that AI is relevant for the legal practice. And we have both the skills community and the legal op people come together. And we take a different use case and a couple of product demos and conversation. It's all available. The recording is all available on skills.law. The skills.law is all for the community. So anyone can come and see it all. And it's just fun.
It is fun, and I come along from Legal Tech Hub to break down the use case,
Right.
and the discussion is always valuable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for that.
Of course, it's my pleasure. You can find Legal Tech Hub at www.legaltechnologyhub.com. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you to Maeven AI, our hosts. Really delighted to have experienced this. I feel very proud that we made it all the way to the end, although
Absolutely.
I'm very sweaty.
It was, as promised,
Yes.
hot.
Yeah, exactly. You've been watching The Hot Seat. Thank you so much.